Hi, I'm Jon Kirkman. I'm a broadcaster and music journalist based in the UK. You may have seen some of these films that I've done over the last 12 months or so, just highlighting some of the releases that are coming out on various labels and various timescales, I guess, right the way through the last 12 months. I've got to say that a lot of the stuff that we do is not in depth, it's just flagging these ideas. So you're not going to get a blow by blow account, but I'm just making you aware that these albums are available. This is the one I'm talking about today by a wonderful artist called Paul Brett. Paul seems to have been around forever, and he's still around now, which is a good thing. Paul, very much acoustic based, but he has played electric guitar in the past. Basically, this is a 4 CD set covering right the way back to his early career. Originally, he had a band as well called Sage, Paul Brett and Sage. Now, Paul Brett and Sage was signed to Pi Records. They made one album for Pi, and then they were shifted over to the Pi Records heavier label. In other words, there was a lot of prog stuff on there, but a lot of rock stuff. And they were in the company of people like Mungo Jerry and Dust, which featured Paul Carrack. And I must say another band, yes, a great band called Atomic Rooster, which I'm sure you all know. But basically, Paul is an acoustic guitarist. He specialises in 12-string guitar. When he was signed to RCA, my friend who I worked for, their band was signed to RCA as well. And my mate Rob remembers going into RCA and watching Paul play his new album to one of the executives at RCA on as what Rob called a crappy K guitar. Now, K guitars were at the cheaper end of the market. You could buy them in Woolworths. And it was a 12-string guitar, and Rob said, although it was a cheapo guitar, you made it sound amazing. Now, what you get in here is the booklet. You know, Paul in the 80s, looking very trendy, I'd say. Because skinny ties were very, very the in thing to have at the time. You know, clean shaven or maybe just a moustache, and yeah. We've all got photos in our loft that we probably not like anybody to see, but there's some of those in here. Here's Paul, however, with just some of the guitars. Now, Paul actually has his own signature guitars, and one of the guitars, the Raven, is actually featured on the 4th disc of this particular set. But I'll go through the CDs for you, and they're all very good. I mean, they're all kind of. There's an early picture of Paul. That's a very early one. That's Paul Brett and Sage. That was, I think, from the Dawn era, which was obviously through Pi. That was when they were kind of progressive. That's one from the 80s, I think. That skinny tiger. That's what Paul looks like now. I've done an interview which is going to be appearing on the Classic Rock Radio SoundCloud page, so look out for that. That is the Raven guitar. These guitars are very cheap, and the reason Paul did it goes back to the old blues guys. When the blues guys were going in the 20s and 30s, people like Robert Johnson, what they had was a working man's guitar, and they could buy it for just over $1.20, maybe $2, because if they smashed it up, it didn't matter, just go and buy another one. And that was a kind of like a tool, and he wanted to make guitars that were, although not that cheap, but well made, but well priced. And there's a great video on YouTube where Paul is demonstrating a lot of these guitars, which you can buy for as little, in fact less than £100, and they're wonderful traveling guitars, small body, but they sound amazing. And if you look that up, Paul Brett's signature guitars, that's a good one. But this is available now, and this gives you a really good cross-career example of what Paul does. It's beautifully put together, and the music contained on there is absolutely wonderful. More recently, he's done an album with Gordon Giltrap, someone else who's very similar in that line. It's a great, highly revered guitarist who's, even Richie Blackmore rates Gordon Giltrap, but a lot of people recognise Paul Brett as being one of the guys on acoustic guitar, particularly 12-string acoustic guitar. He's a lovely guy, and this album contains some wonderful music. So I would like to tell you to go to Cherry Red Records, cherryred.co.uk, put Paul Brett into the search box, and this will come up. It's very, very well priced, and also all the other Paul Brett albums that are available through Cherry Red Records. So there you go. This is definitely a good in if you want to listen to what Paul Brett has done over the years. And it's very, very worthwhile, and there's some wonderful music on there. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope you're going to be listening to that very soon.